Welcome to the Blockchain Blueprint. Once again, you join us from WeWork, just opposite the Tower Bridge, and also the Tower of London. And we're here today, and we're joined by Frank Zhou, who is from Zeux. They are the world's first crypto mobile payment and investment app. So do check them out on www.zeux.tech. There'll be more on that later. But thank you for your time today and for joining us. So to begin, can you give us a bit of background into yourself and why you set up Zeux?
Sure. So basically I started this business a year ago. My previous background is I have been a financial trader. I trade options, equity derivatives, high frequency, statistical arbitrage, and FX options, all kinds of products over the last 10 years. That's my previous background. So one of the reasons I get into this payment space and crypto space, there's so much opportunity over there and the market's not particularly efficient, and there's lots of high charges for anything related to crypto, and even in the payment space, FX space, they're just like ridiculously amount of charge for bank institution on top of the customer. So we would like to offer customer the benefits of taking these out, and we would like to offer them something in which it starts in one thing, it connects to solve all their problems. Currently, we have specialist program in which dealing some of the things, i.e., you can buy crypto somewhere, and then you can use the crypto transfer somewhere and to buy some fund products, and then you can sell your crypto back to a bank account, then you can spend it. But why can't we have something, combine all these crypto functions into one? Same for fiat. We have, bank accounts, we have payment apps, we have investment accounts, peer-to-peer lenders, all kinds of stuff. Why can't we have something in which you can top up the money, then you can spend, you can transfer, you can invest, and do in one place? So this is why we want to do this business, because we think it's clearly missing the product. And I'm Chinese in origin, so every time I go back to China, I look at what's out there in China. The convenience of Alipay as an aggregating app, super money app, it's massive. So people, they just take their phones with their apps in their phone, and they don't need anything else. We want to provide similar type of experience here, but this time not only fiat currency but also crypto as well.
Why do you think the likes of Alipay and also WeChat, though they're not necessarily on the blockchain, are so far ahead of anything that the West can offer?
Yeah, so Alipay and WeChat Pay is nothing to do with blockchain. Although they are building some of the blockchain application, the main idea is historically Europe, it's something to do with the financial institution. So VCs, they drive the innovation. Their behavior determine what kind of company will strive. So in Europe, most of VC I speak to, actually, in fact, most of them don't like to have some sort of business model which is so explosive but doesn't make money in the first 3 years. They will ask you, how do you make money? How do you make on year 1, year 2, year 3? I'm going to tell them nothing. We're not going to make money. So they'll be like, okay, thank you very much. But look at the most successful companies. They don't make money at the beginning. Facebook doesn't even have revenue. Uber is still making a loss. Probably they're not the most successful company yet. But Amazon was making a loss just 5 years ago. Now it's $1 trillion company. So the idea is, in order to build something which provide the benefits to everyone, in order to own the market, we have to be very aggressively spending, give all the benefit to user, attract them. Once we own the users, we can provide additive service in which it generates profits. So the reason it doesn't exist in Europe is because VC doesn't invest this way. They like to invest in specialist program. You do money transfer, you do payments, you do investment, and they generate return. So there's lots of specialists in Europe. There's no general type of aggregator platform, especially in the fintech space. But it exists in China. People like to do price war. They understand the concept about once you own the market, you have all the profit margin to yourself. But if you lose that war, then you got nothing. Same as America. That's why you have so many tech giants doing exactly the same thing. That probably assuming answer your question, why there's nothing like that in Europe.
So let's get more in. I guess you've answered why you got into the blockchain space in the first place. Guess you've answered that.
Sure.
But what does Zeux offer that financial platforms and other forms of payment may not be able to?
Well, there's a couple of things we do brand new. The first thing to start with, we're the world's first crypto mobile payment app. So in which once you top up the crypto into our digital wallet, you transfer into a wallet, you can use it pay as NFC payment directly to anywhere you go. When I say anywhere, it's literally anywhere that Apple Pay and Visa is accepted. A lot of payments are trying to work from different way. Blockchain industry is starting from a bunch of tech geeks, they're developers. So their ideas want to jump from all the existing financial institutions. In order to make it work, there's two ways. In fact, there's all linked together. One way is make sure other people accept your coin. I pay Bitcoin, you accept Bitcoin, transaction done. But here you go, most of the places don't accept Bitcoin. Even if they want to do, it's not an easy way. So there's another solution. I built some sort of car and some sort of a POS machine in which I can pay Bitcoin, you can accept it. But here you go, most of the merchant will ask you how many customers you have. Not a 10 million yet. We're not going to use your POS machine, but you will not have 10 million customers if you don't have the merchant ready. So we solve the problem from the other angle, in which we're using the existing payment industry, in which they're going to make money doing the transaction anyway. But from customer, you can go directly jumping from using crypto to pay mobilely anyway. And you don't have to pre-sell it. It's not like you have to sell it, some of the application you have to sell it, then you can spend in physical cards. We don't do physical cards. We think it's too 20th century. If you're doing crypto, it's definitely mobile. And we provide instant payments. The way we do it in the background is not we do any type of transaction in the blockchain because it's never going to be fast enough. What happened, coming from my background, we manage the risk. So when you're spending your crypto in a coffee shop, we pay the coffee for you at the spot when we are selling your crypto out, which is going to take some time to come back to us. That's fine. We manage the liquidity risk, the currency risk. So we manage these two. These are not done by most of the parties. They want to solve the problem technically without taking any risk, and they all charge a fat markup on top of that. We don't charge user anything. Yeah, even crypto payments, we charge you nothing other than whatever you have, the price you have to trade in exchange. In fact, we give you a benefit. If you hold our tokens, we give you cash back. So user actually are making money by doing crypto transactions. This is something we're doing is new. Yeah.
Okay. When people use financial services, a big concern people have even now is the security element. What can you do to for assuring people that, apps such as yours is safe to use?
Sure, there's two components, right? One is the fiat part, whether the fiat money is stored in the correct place and whether there'll be risk of your fiat money. So the fiat money is very simple. We work with an agency bank. For every customer, you actually have your own bank accounts. So the money stays in a bank. Even us, as a startup, new company, you don't have to worry about this because all the money is client money. It's segregated from our company account. It's actually not held with us. It's held with the agency bank. It's clearly client money cannot go anywhere else other than client's own bank account. So this is the financial security of your fiat money. Now, related to crypto, we're working with Robinhood, one of the world's leading hot exchange, having a very high security of hot wallets. So we make sure we do all the penetration tests for our wallets, in which make sure your private key is secured. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. What specifically does Zeux do with using blockchain exactly? Is it used for verification, securities, smart contracts, or anything else?
Yeah. Well, obviously, if you do any type of crypto payments in a wallet, you use the blockchain because you have to use blockchain to do the transfer. That's straightforward. The other part, when we're using blockchain, which I can arguably to say is the most fundamental idea we built this business. Because in order to provide all these services to the client, we connect lots of financial institutions altogether. because we don't provide the underlying service ourselves, right? We work with different, FX, money transfer provider, investment institution, banks, asset management, peer-to-peer lenders, crypto funds. So effectively, our clients become their clients. Instead of doing a full integration in which we just literally put the product here and do all the client custodian money, we don't hold custodian of the funds once it's invested. We actually transfer into them. You are not only our customer, but also Fidelity's, BlackRock's customer when you buy a product from them. So in order to do that, historically, what happened is the most difficult part is for all the financial institutions, in order to accept you as their user, they need to onboard you. They need to do KYC. They need to do a suitability test or appropriateness test if it's an investment product. But the problem for that is every time the user have to answer the same questionnaire, whether you're happy to lose your money, this kind of things, and they have to do the same KYC. So they have to send your proof of address, your passport, all kinds of things. When we build an aggregator, if we have to ask user this information every time when they invest in something else, it lost the purpose of being an aggregator. So in order to solve this problem, we ask customer to do KYC and test once with us. We pass all these results with financial institution. Now, this sounds very easy to do, but in practice, in order to make sure all financial institutions take the result from you, outsource KYC and suitability test to you, they have to trust you are doing the right thing and doing it properly. Otherwise, they got fined as well. As a young company, the banks will never trust you to do so, and they will just have to do it themselves. So, because there's no way technically to prove we have done it properly. That's one when blockchain coming in. So, banks loves blockchain. They might not like crypto, but they love blockchain. So the idea is what we do is every time there's an information user sent to us, we store the data in a database. We calculate the cash in a blockchain with a verification history in a blockchain. So let's say the name has been verified, date of birth, address has been verified by a specialist KYC provider, which banks themselves use as well. Because banks also use KYC providers to check KYC. We use the KYC provider as well. Sometimes exactly the same one. But if we bypass the information to them, then they don't trust us. If they can come directly from the KYC partner, that can happen. So what happens is we leave all the verification history in the blockchain. So every time it's checked, they know who has verified the information and when and what has been verified. If you want to add extra information, you add one more question to the customer. You don't have to ask everything again. So for example, if the customer is eligible to buy a FX option product from Saxo Capital Market, so they're sophisticated enough, so they don't have to do a questionnaire again when they want to buy a Fidelity FTSE 100 ETF, because they have already shown they have more experience than that. So these records will be on a blockchain. But just to be sure, the user data will be in a private database encrypted using private key of user's handset. So your data is safe. Only the verification history is public, transparent, immutable, but people don't know what has been verified unless you have the key of the database.
Fantastic. So how do you, and when I say you, like Zeux, how do you benefit from using blockchain in this business? It might sound like an obvious question, but yeah.
Well, as I just mentioned, we need to use blockchain in order to make the user onboarding journey smoother. So user only need to register with us once and get access to all services. If we don't use blockchain, sometimes we have to keep asking them the same question again. Then the user experience will be very bad. So this is why we need to use blockchain. Obviously, relating to the wallet part, we definitely need the blockchain. Otherwise, how can they transfer their crypto to us? So here you go. These two parts are the most important things.
So for any startup businesses that wish to use blockchain in their software or anything else, how do you think they can benefit from using blockchain depending on what their business is?
Yeah, so this comes to a very similar question when people keep asking, in different, events or these seminars, when blockchain will be useful. So one of the fundamental idea blockchain is building a transparent, immutable record history of something. So the information stored on blockchain, all the tokens on the blockchain, all the money transfer, or something represents certain information, is public, transparent, and you can't change it because it has to be verified by different points. So if your business rely on anything related to trust, related to transparency, you can use blockchain. Anything related to decentralized information. So you don't want to rely on one central party because one central party has higher trust issue. You want to use the information based on lots of different parties, then you can use blockchain as well. But that said, it doesn't mean every business needs to be a blockchain business. Sometimes it can be a centralized solution can solve the problem. Then you can do that. I mean, everything will probably be better in a decentralized way. I think that's the future. But efficiency-wise, some of the business currently, maybe you can start with a centralized way because the trust is not a huge issue in this space yet. Then you can use a centralized way to solve the problem as well. Blockchain is really a decentralized way to building trust. It needs to solve problem which relates to that.
What advice would you give for anyone that's starting a business, like a startup, obviously, that wants to use blockchain technology? What would you say would be a good idea, and what would you say might not be a good idea?
Yeah, as I just said earlier, so don't use it blindly because sometimes it costs a lot of money, do things very complicated. If you just want to build a fundamental chain yourself for the sake of it, don't do it because it costs so much resource, and user adoption for other people to use it, it's usually very costly and time consuming to do it. So it's great to have a big dream to use blockchain to implement to solve real life problems. But a lot of times you can solve this way by using some of the existing technology. Always think about what you can use, which also always existed there. You probably have to pay a fee to other people, but it will save so much cost to do everything all over again yourself. I think this is one of the key. Whoever is watching this video is definitely interested in blockchain to make things better for their products or make their customer life better. That's for sure. But my suggestion is don't do it blindly because it will cost a lot of resource you use, and if you don't do it properly, it will be a waste of resource.
Is there anything else you'd like to add that we might not have brought up before that you'd like to share with our viewers?
We explain a little bit what we're doing and what we used blockchain to help people's lives, help customers' life, help business life. I think that's the fundamental idea behind all kinds of blockchain projects. You need to have a very clear usage case, how you use it to solve the problem. So sometimes it can apply to a business, sometimes it can't. You should not do it blindly because blockchain is the trend. You should do it because it's useful to your business.
Okay, so to wrap up, thanks for your time. Where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you?
Sure. If they're interested in Zeux, if they want to join us, you can come to our website at www.zeux.tech, and you can also join us in Telegram. It's t.me/ZeuxApp, and also Twitter, twitter.com/ZeuxApp.